Hi guys, welcome to today's YouTube channel, and today's YouTube video is all about grief, and I just wanted to go over the 5 stages of grief according to Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. I also wanted to just help you, give you some context to what you might be feeling right now, and also tell you or give you permission if you need it to say that it's okay to grieve right now and it's okay to experience the different emotions that you're feeling. So, according to Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, the 5 stages of grief are denial, anger, sadness, bargaining, and acceptance. And I've noticed, with any kind of grief, we go through those. And I also want to say there are different kinds of grief. There, for example, anticipatory grief or complicated grief. And really, today's video is just general, because I want to help you guys kind of just make sense of how you might be feeling during COVID-19 and how to kind of help you process your feelings every day. So first, what I notice when we are hit with a sudden loss, or even one that we've kind of been anticipating, that sometimes, especially with a sudden loss, we go into kind of shock or we numb ourselves. And when we do that, what happens is we kind of just void. But at some point, our body says, hey, you have to feel your feelings. And so as we start to kind of not numb anymore, or we're not able to numb anymore, we do experience different emotions. And, maybe numbness is part of the denial, or after numbness, when we go into denial, we just keep thinking, oh, well, that's happening over there, that's not happening to me. Or I'm just not going to pay attention, I'm just going to try and keep doing what I used to do, even though we can't do that anymore either. And also with the 5 stages of grief, or it's not like they go in any particular order. Sometimes when I'm hit with a sudden loss, I might feel angry, because it's like, no, I don't want to say goodbye to what I used to be doing, or I want to be able to go and do this or do that, or and so we get really mad, or sometimes we're just sad, right after numbness. Again, your grief is your own. We don't all grieve in the same way, and I want you to remember that too. If I'm grieving and I'm sad and I'm crying, and maybe my partner is just kind of acting like everything's okay, I can't get mad at him for grieving in that way. That's his own process and my own process, because we're 2 different people. And so remember that too. And then the other thing about grief is, sometimes we think that we're not allowed to grieve. Like, especially what's happening with the pandemic, for those of us who have kids, I want you to be able to acknowledge your own grief, so your kids know that it's also okay for them to be sad, or for them to grieve, or for them to talk about their loss. Now, that doesn't mean you have the ugly cry in front of them. It just means that it's okay to say to them, like, hey, mom's sad too, or dad's sad too, or hey, let's talk about how you might be feeling about not being able to go to sports, or not being able to see your friends, or not even being able to go to school. So, let's talk about it, and to kind of help normalize for them how they might be feeling too. So that's another important factor, is, being able to talk about it. So Brene Brown, I was watching a video clip with Brene Brown, and she talks about there's kind of different stages. It's like you really have to be able to acknowledge and honor your grief in order to get to a place of acceptance and forgiveness. And, I thought that was really good. Sometimes we just want to kind of gloss over that we're sad, or that we've lost something, and we just want to say, okay, everything's fine, or, I'm just not going to worry about forgiveness, or, we just act like everything's okay. But, a lot of times we have to sit with our sadness or our grief first. We have to acknowledge that something has been lost. And I think with the COVID-19, we didn't get a say in the loss and the change. It was sudden, and it's like everything was just different. And so I know for me, I had to acknowledge, like, I was sad. I'm sad that I don't get to go to my office every day and help people in the same way. Or sometimes I get a little angry about that. Or, I am sad that my kids and we don't get to go to watch them play, or they don't get to participate, and we don't get to play sports. That being said, because I've been able to process and understand how I've been feeling, we're also able to look at what we're gaining, and for us, it's, being able, well, for me, it's being able to slow down and be more present. It's acknowledging, like, what I have been able to create that I wouldn't have been able to do in the first place, new ways to be able to help people regarding my work or with the kids. Like, we're doing some things that have been really good. But to be honest, guys, if I wouldn't have been able to be open to that had I not acknowledged that I was sad when this first all kind of went down. And, I can't even imagine what it would be like to know that you've lost someone to COVID-19. We, in our family, we have not experienced that yet. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, because we don't know. But, I'm just so sorry if you're someone who's watching this that has lost a family member, someone that you care about, to COVID-19. So, again, it's feel your feelings. Give yourself permission to cry or be angry. And remember, with all of your feelings are your feelings, and they're unique to you. And how you process, or how you take care of, or how you acknowledge your feelings, just remember to do those in healthy ways. Journal, call a friend, talk to a therapist, exercise, cry, do those things that you're able to do in the context of, your own home, because we're all quarantined right now. And, and just say it's okay. And, I think I said this earlier, but if I didn't, I'll say it again. Remember, it's not like the stages of grief are in any particular order. And, maybe we're feeling pretty good because we process our emotions, and then something happens and we're kind of feel like we've backslided. And I would say it's not a backslide. It's just we're experiencing new grief. And so we're going to grieve again. And that's okay. Remember, our relationship changes with grief as we move forward. And sometimes it comes back. So feel your feelings. And, if you're able to, remind yourself, with every loss, there are new beginnings. But we do have to be able to accept and honor and acknowledge our loss first before we can really embrace new beginnings. So I hope that makes sense. So the 5 stages, again, are anger. Again, this is not in any order, but it's denial, anger, sadness, bargaining, and acceptance. And, when I say give yourself permission, there are going to be days where you just need to really stop and feel those feelings, process them in healthy ways. Like I said, talk to a friend via Zoom or on the phone, read a book that makes you laugh, music, journaling. If you are able to still go outside and walk or run or find little things to do to exercise. And most importantly, it's, acknowledge it as grief, because that's probably what it is. All right, so I will try and find that Brene Brown clip and put it in the comment section. This is another book that I've gotten. That's a really great book that talks about grief. I'll put a link in my comment section as well. Take care of yourselves, guys. Hang in there. Give yourself a hug, and give the people that you care about that are in your family, a hug. And hang in there. Take care.